Chapter 5. Zhao Gui directly invested 50,000 star coins on number 3 and number 8 wool material. If the odds were higher this time, he could earn millions of star coins. Ha ha ha, what was the loss of hundreds of thousands before? As long as he can win this game, he can double it tenfold. The host started to announce the final odds. The gross odds for number 2, 3 and 8 were 3.1, 11.2 and 4.0 respectively. Zhao Gui almost laughed out loud. The odds of number 3 and number 8 combined are 15 times more than 1,000,000 stars. The stone gamblers in this battle are all third-level stone gamblers, and there are many supporters and supporters. From the statistics of the odds, one can hear one after another shouting from the audience. Miss Li Yu, come on. Miss Li Yu will be able to open Jade today. Young Master C is the most handsome, and Young Master C is the strongest. Sikhin will win. Bai Jing frowned slightly, but he didn't expect Stone Gambler to have a large number of fans, just like the stars. Before the apocalypse broke out, and it's not surprising to see the expressions of the people around you, it can be seen that it is normal. What he didn't know was that with the popularity of stone betting and stone betting, the exposure rate of stone gamblers on Xinguang has exceeded that of most star actors and live broadcasters, and there are several top stone gamblers in the star domain. The number of fans is even as high as hundreds of millions. You must know that the total population of the entire empire is only more than 1 billion, which is simply the top of the top. The fans of the two stone gamblers shouted frantically as if they were fighting each other, their voices almost breaking the ceiling, causing Bai Jing to close his eyes uncomfortably. In the apocalypse, once there is a sound, there will be a siege of zombies. No one dares to shout outside. Everyone moves cautiously, and even their breathing will slow down, and he has long been used to such an environment. Fortunately, the solution of the stone started immediately, and the two stone gamblers put their fingers to their lips to signal, and the enthusiastic fans immediately quieted down. Li Yu wore a bright red off-the-shoulder dress, which was cut to fit perfectly and outlined perfect lines. The brown-red hair is pulled up high, the headdress is decorated with fine diamonds, and the red lips are like fire and radiant. Before she came to the number 2 wool material that was most likely to produce jadeite, she had a serious discussion with the calcite master. Instead of cutting the stone with an automatic stone cutter, she chose to rub the stone along the direction of the pine flower and the python belt. Soon, an opening about the size of a baby's palm was wiped from the leather shell, which was about an inch thick, revealing a layer of whitish mist-like crystals. It's fog, it's white fog. The fog was wiped out from the beginning, as expected of a third-level stone gambler, too strong. I'll bet that Gao Chui can definitely be found in this piece of wool. Ha ha ha. It seems that my vision is good. This time I'm going to make a profit. Fog is a layer of material between the skin and jade meat in the jade wool. The wool that can emit fog means the foundation is clean, and it is very likely to produce jade with good water, especially white fog. So many people will bet on fog specifically. Zhao Gui's wide eyes stared at the foggy cutout on the big screen, shouting in his heart, there can't be any emeralds in it. Yes, the appearance of fog does not necessarily mean that jadeite can be unraveled. Maybe the inside is damaged by cracks or eaten by ringworm. In short, there should be no jadeite. He glanced at Bai Jing subconsciously, and the other party stood aside calmly, unaffected by the surrounding noise. Zhao Gui's restless heart relaxed a little and wiped the cold sweat from his forehead. That's right, there are also many jadeites out of the fog that have been gambled. While the number 2 wool material wiped out the white fog, other wool materials also opened windows one after another. Si Chun saw the apple green exposed at the cut of number 8 wool. His thin lips evoked a smile, coupled with his handsome face, causing a commotion among the fans below. Oh my god, I'm dead. Si Chun is so handsome. Look at me, Master C. I bet you 100,000 stars. The color is very positive. Si Xiao is great. Li Yu and Si Chin's eyes met in the air, and they parted at a touch, then lowered their heads and continued to dissolve the stone. The two are both third-level stone gamblers and have outstanding appearance. They are very popular on Xinguang and have the same number of fans, so they have always regarded each other as rivals. This stone gambling battle not only represents the stone gambling ability of the two, but also their reputation and glory. Li Yu personally picked up the grinding wheel and rubbed the number 2 wool. She has had hundreds of stone gambling experiences and is very familiar with wool. and she slowly wiped away along the direction of the fog. Sichin also discussed with the gambling stone master and planned to solve the number 8 wool by himself. He dropped another knife next to the incision, perfectly cutting out the outline of the edge. Such a precise operation looks like a seasoned veteran. Li Yu's movements were careful but not slow, and soon, most of number 2 jadeite was freed. She drenched it on the water, and the gleaming green was translucent, as crystal clear as ice crystals. The color was uniform, the watercolor was pure, and it was exceptionally beautiful under the illumination of the light. Oh my God! It's actually the second highest ice species after the glass species. Luo eats it in. This jadeite won't be small. This is simply a big rise dash. Everyone present was excited. This kind of high-quality jadeite is rare. Even those who often gamble on stones have not seen it a few times. Moreover, this piece of wool material performed outstandingly, and many people bet on it. At this time, seeing the wool material soaring, the sense of achievement of betting on the right treasure suddenly spewed out, and the fiery atmosphere ignited the entire hall. Li Yu herself was so excited that her hands were shaking. Hundreds of stone bets were made. This was the first time she had solved such a fine jadeite. She took a deep breath and carefully wiped away the wool by operating the grinding wheel, and finally released about 4 kilograms of light green high ice jadeite. But Sichin's luck was not so good. After a few cuts, the bottom half of the wool material was all cotton wool, and only the egg-sized apple green waxy jadeite was cut out. Compared with the ice jadeite, it is much inferior. Oh, the water and color are good. It's a pity for such a large area of white cotton. Never mind, this one has gone up too. Is it the number 2 and number 8 that draw jade? Ha ha ha, I finally got it right once. Young Master C is fine. We will fight again next time. Sichin's fans couldn't bear the sadness of their idols and shouted loudly, Young Master C, we will always support you. Li Yu, Li Yu, Li Yu. Li Yu's fans were even more ecstatic, shouting her name desperately, and many people were hoarse. However, in the fiery atmosphere, there was a person who was out of tune with the people around him, standing in a daze, with a terrifying expression on his face. This person is naturally Jiao Gue with a broken dream. How could this be? Isn't this kid the best luck? How could this be? The result has been decided. Both the number 2 and number 8 wools have jadeite, and Li Yu's number 2 wool wins by an absolute advantage. After the host asked the 2 stone gamblers' wishes as usual, they began to auction 2 jadeites on the spot. The first was the ice jadeite that Li Yu opened. As you can see, this jadeite is a relatively rare high ice species, weighing 4.25 kilograms, and can extract 8 to 9 pieces of advanced gene fluid. If it is used on a mecha, it can provide 3 years of high-level mecha under normal conditions. Energy, let's start the auction dash. I will give out 3 million star coins. 3.5 million. 4 million star coins. I'll give 5 million. The jadeite of the high ice species is very rare. In the end, this jadeite was sold for 6 million star coins. Bai Jing suppressed the shock in his heart. The 50,000 star coins wool material was worth 6 million jadeite, and the price increased by more than 100 times. No wonder everyone wanted to become a stone gambler. While amazed, he suddenly realized that there was a sight on the second floor that could not be ignored, and he looked back suddenly, but only saw darkness. In the innermost luxury VIP box on the second floor, young Master Gu, this person's perception is very sharp, the young man in black uniform exclaimed. Yeah. Gu Yuanchao crossed his slender hands, supported his graceful chin, and looked at the boy with black-rimmed glasses on the screen. His betting odds are also very high. The young Qiaoan quickly got the analysis data. Indeed, he won twice in a row, but failed the third time. Well, maybe it's better luck. Maybe. Gu Yuanchao was non-committal, but his intuition told him that the youth must rely on more than luck. Huh. Qiaonan carefully looked at Bai Jing's enlarged face on the screen. It turned out to be him, the newcomer that Jiao Gue lied to yesterday. That's right. The corners of Gu Yuanchao's lips curled slightly, and his handsome face was like a poppy. This time Jiao Gue has kicked the iron plate. Young Master Gu, do you want me to deal with it? Qiaoan said with a serious look. Although he was out of temper, he was very efficient in doing business. Otherwise Gu Yuanchao would not have sent him to be the head of the entire stone gambling shop. Gu Shi's gambling behavior is to guarantee profits, and he will never allow anyone who disturbs the odds to appear. If this young man has always maintained such a high winning rate, he can only warn him. And that Zhao Gui, hold on. Gu Yuanchao said in a lazy tone, Zhao Gui has lost so many times in a row, and he will soon lose his temper. Joan, remember, if you want to punish a person, you must seize his faults in full view, so that he can no longer stand up. When he said these words, Gu Yuanchao didn't even look at Zhao Gui. Those dark eyes kept staring at the boy on the screen, and he never moved away for a long time. Joan, yes. Standing in the crowd, Bai Jing lowered his eyes, covered half of his face with thick-rimmed glasses, and planned to leave under the cover of the crowd. His perception was several times sharper than that of ordinary people, and when he looked at it with that line of sight just now, he even felt a danger that was stronger than that of a fifth-level zombie, and he was extremely vigilant. Just to be on the safe side, don't come here again. Zhao Gui, who had recovered from the huge blow, was so angry that his face turned blue. His honest appearance became distorted, and his face was as ferocious as a ghost, scaring the people around him to retreat. He turned his head and glared at Bai Jing, who was about to leave. His eyes were bloodshot like spider webs. It was this slum who paid him 100,000 stars. If it weren't for him, he would have won the bet, and it was all his fault. Zhao Gui's fat body slammed towards Bai Jing. He wanted to smash the face of this bastard, spit blood out of this bastard's mouth, and look for teeth all over the floor. Bai Jing didn't even give him a look. When the opponent rushed over, Wei Wei turned sideways to dodge the attack that seemed to him to have little power. His slender left hand accurately found the opponent's neck and clasped it and slammed it on the ground. The heavy sound of dong dash made his scalp numb, and Zhao Gui was hit with black eyes. The severe dizziness on his head made him feel sick, but he was caught by that iron pincer-like hand and couldn't move. The air in his lungs is getting less and less. Zhao Gui's eyes bulge like a fish devoid of water. His limbs are struggling desperately, but he can't get rid of the other's slender fingers. A zombie must have its head separated from its body to die completely, so in addition to shooting the head with an energy gun, Bai Jing's most common move is throat lock. Under long-term training, he can even crush the neck bones of zombies with his bare hands. This time, he only used 10% of his strength to deal with Zhao Gui. The opponent was too weak, and the opponent was really suffocated to death. Bai Jing quickly let go of his hand. Zhao Gui was lying on the ground in embarrassment and coughing out almost his entire internal organs. His flushed face was sobbing and his whole body was twitching. How could he be the same as when he lied to a newcomer before? What made him even more desperate was that when he finally caught his breath, a pair of shiny black leather shoes appeared in his field of vision. Looking up, the Chief Joan appeared in front of him with a group of tall men in uniforms. Chowan put his hands around his chest and glanced at him condescendingly. The words spit out from his thin lips made him fall into an ice cave. Zhao Gui, you have been deceiving newcomers for a long time, and you just ignored the rules of Gu's stone gambling shop and did it yourself. Starting today, young Master Gu has decided to ban all your rights in the Gu family, including the right to bet at the Gu family gambling shop, the right to mine the mining area of the Gu family, the right to sell the products of the Gu family, etc. 23 rights. Zhao Giru was struck by lightning, shaking like chaff. Regardless of the pain on his body, he crawled over crying and grabbed Xiaowen's trousers. Mr. Xiao, I was wrong. I was really wrong. I want to see young Master Gu. I am willing to give out all my wealth. Just ask young Master Gu to open up, please. Xiaowen raised his foot. His black leather shoes stomped on Zhao Gaizisheng's face and looked at him like a piece of trash. Young Master Gu can see trash like you too? Go back and dream. Saying that, he kicked him over, waved someone to throw Zhao Gui, who was paralyzed on the ground like a dead dog, and left with a group of people. When passing by Bai Jing, Joan glanced at him inexplicably and quickly disappeared in front of everyone.